In the previous video, we have created our code for random placement of our knight pieces. Now, it would be a good idea to see how they are placed, so to visualize them on our map. To do that, we need to start from implementing the logic to place our start and end position. So let's go back to Unity. To place our start and exit points, we first need to implement two helper classes. First one will be direction, so let's create C# class, call it direction. Okay, let's open it up. Let's change its definition. It will not be a class but an enum. And in this enum we will have the positions, so the directions. So none, right, left, up, and down, which we will use to say on which edge of the map we want to place our start position and on which edge we want to place our exit position, as we have decided previously that our road will go from one edge of the map to another one, or to the same edge possibly, but we will see about it later. For now, we need to go back to Unity. Okay, and let's create a new C# class called map helper. Okay, let's create it and open it up in code editor. Okay, great. Now this class will also not be a mono behavior, and let's delete all the methods from this class and let's set it to be a static class, as this will be a helper class. We will need a couple of methods here. First will be called public void, a static void, and let's call it randomly choose and set start and exit. Okay, the name is pretty clear, so we will choose where to place our start and exit position, at which position on our grid, and then we will set our grid cell to contain the start and exit. So first of all, we need to pass a map grid, a reference value vector3, start position, reference value vector3, exit position, a bool, a random placement, because we will have an option to randomly place our start and end positions, a direction, and this will be the start position edge, and by default it will be direction.left, and we will have direction exit position edge, and by default we will set it to direction.right. So this is pretty long class method definition, and now we need to create an if statement. So if a random placement, we will choose a random position for our start and exit position, but if we set the position that we want to be a direction for the edge, then we will have to choose a position on this concrete edge of our map. So we will need two methods. First of all, we will have a start position equals randomly choose position on the edge of the grid. Or a edge of the map. Anyways, we are going to pass here the grid and start position. Okay, and let's alt enter on it and generate this method. And we are going to copy this, or at least till the equal sign, and we are going to say exit position equals the same thing. Great, so let's go down and implement this method. And actually this will be the only method that we'll have to implement in this class. And what we need also to pass here is the direction, and by default it will be a direction dot none. Okay, and Why did we implement this non-direction? You will see in a minute, because now if we are going to call if direction equals direction dot non, we are going to set direction equals, let's pass it direction, so we will cast as a direction random dot range 1 to 5. Okay, and as you can see, random is problematic, so we are going again to go up, and below using Unity engine we are going to call using random equals Unity engine dot random. Okay, and now it should be good. So we are choosing a random value between 1 and 5, so between left, right, up and down directions. Now we are going to create vector 3 position equals vector 3 dot 0, and we are going to call switch direction, and it will automatically fill in all the possible directions. That's why using enums is pretty useful. So what we will want to do here is we are going to do a position equals new vector 3, and now if this is none, we actually do not want to do anything, because there is no case where there is none value given as the direction. So let's start from right. Let's delete the none case, and what we need to do here is to place now the our point on the right edge of our map. Now this is an assumption on my part that we are looking at the direction of z-axis at this moment, and we are going to create a grid with -1, 0 and random dot range from 0 to grid dot length. There is comma length, and this is it. So what we are saying is that we are choosing the far right edge of the map, so the maximum x value, so which is grid dot width -1. So this is the most the most right x value on our grid, and in this the last column basically of our grid, we will choose a random value between 0 and grid length exclusive. So this will give us a random value for our position. But we need to consider that we do not want to place start and end position near each other, because this would have no sense when there is an exit and entrance and exit near each other. So we are going to call while vector 3 dot distance is between position and start position is less or equal to 1. So basically that's why we cannot have a grid less than 3 by 3, because in this case this will be an infinite loop. So this is something you could improve upon, but I have chosen to do it like this and to lock the size of the grid to not go below 3 by 3. So now let's go down, let's paste the same to the left, and instead of grid.width -1 we will set 0, because we want to choose the point in the first column of our grid. Now let's go to up, let's paste the same thing. Now instead of our axis we will set it to be 0. No, sorry, we are going to set it to be random range, the x value, and the our z value will be grid.length -1. So this will give us a position in the last row, and we will choose randomly the column that we want to position our point at. And in down direction, we instead of grid.length -1 we will choose 0, so the first row, and we will choose the column at random. So we will choose the column at random in the first row of our grid. And that is how we are going to choose our position. And outside of the switch statement, we need to return our position. Okay. And let's slide up. So with random placement, we are calling those methods. Else, let's copy those two. And we are going to pass the third parameter as our, for start, it will be start direction, start position edge, sorry. And in the exit position, we will call exit position edge. And now we are calculating the exit position and the start position, making sure that exit position isn't one cell away from the start position. So the last step we need to take is to set on our grid the set cell. We are going to pass our start position.x and start position.z, and we are going to call cell object type to be start. Let's copy this statement, let's paste it below, and instead of start position we are going to use exit position as well. Copy this, paste it into the Z position, and instead of start we are going to set it to be exit. Okay, so as you can see, the idea behind the grid class is to store all the information about our map inside it and use it to create our visualization by using the cells from our grid and checking what type of objects do they contain. Okay, so we can now create our start and exit position. Let's go now to the map generator class. Okay, and here in the start we will want to call our map helper dot randomly choose set start and exit position, and we will need to add two vector 3s as our parameters for this map generator. So let's create private vector 3 start position and exit position, and those will be set through the map helper as the values for our start and end position. So let's pass to it our grid, our start position and exit position, and we can create two public fields. So public direction start edge and exit edge. Great. And of course we have public bool random placement. And we will pass all of it to our method. So we have start position, exit position, random placement. Our this is start edge and our exit edge. Yes, we have exit edge. And that's basically it. And we need to pass those as reference values because we want our method to store those values as those positions here, or as those vectors 3s. So those vectors 3s will be passed as reference to this method, and they will contain the resulting position inside them. So this class map generator will exactly know where is the start and exit position. But we cannot still visualize where those start and exit position will be placed. In the next video, we will take care of visualizing where those start and exit positions were placed.